Here we go. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining me. I see Pep and Prodigal and Jody P. We got Cheryl and Uncle Smiley, Davo, Johnny No Shoes or Johnny Eye Patch. Can't really call him Johnny Eye Patch anymore. And we'll see how things go today. I was kind of going to talk about uh, what we were talking about on Thursday. And let me know if you can hear me. I guess I'm doing a water change and it's pretty loud in here. So I just had the daggone thing up. There it is. So thanks. Thanks. Thank you. Um, we we were kind of looking at like the most frequently asked questions about fish keeping on Google. So I just thought I'd continue that because things were a little bit chaotic. Mostly my fault because I tend to talk over people. Um, but like the first one, like the very first question out of the box. Hey Nathan, is how do you cycle a new aquarium? And I was just wondering, oh, what do they got going on here? Now it looks like Ed is trying to corral a cat. Could be a minute for Ed. Hey Tracy. Um, oh crap. I was also using that as notes. Um, how do you how do you um, cycle your tanks? Like I was talking to the guys on Thursday about how usually I now just used like the previous tanks media. Sometimes the decor, once in a while the same substrate. Almost always I'll switch over the filters. Um, but when you're just starting out, your first tank, you don't have anything really to put in there. What do you guys do? Do you guys use the chemicals, the like the turbo and the Fruit Design 7 and that kind of thing, or do you use fish, or you know, it's gross, but back in the day, I believe the method was you would pour a little bit of urine in there to get your ammonia up. I never did that because then I knew I was going to put my hands in there and I didn't want to do that. But I know that people did. That was a thing. Um, and now really I just kind of do it just slower. You know, like I'll use some of the nitrate. So Tracy uses Fruit 7. Um, like most of my tanks only have a couple fish in them because I'm not, hey Denny, I'm not a community fish keeper kind of thing. You know, I don't keep a ton of fish. Uh, my 150 over there has one fish in it. Ben, how we doing? See what Prodigal says. If, as they say, you turn your canister filter off for a few hours, you kill the beneficial bacteria. How on earth does commercial beneficial bacteria make sense? Well, it's not active, I believe, is the thing. So it's just basically adding ammonia into your tank, which kickstarts it off. But it does work. You know, some of them don't. There's a lot of like less reputable ones, but people with degrees. Hey, Stephen, like Jason from Aquarium, no, from Primetime Aquatics. He seems to think that it works, and you know he's much smarter than I am. I would take his word over my own. In fact, and he's been doing it a long time using that product. I don't personally use it, just because I haven't really set up. All my tanks are pretty old. They've been set up for 5, 6, 7 years now. Um, so I don't really play around with that stuff. But if I do like tear a tank down and then restart it, I try to keep my media wet, keep everything going. I don't think it dies that fast though. Prodigal Aquarius. I think it'll live for a little while. What usually happens is it starves to death, right? So I don't think it's going to starve to death in a couple hours. But that was one of the questions we had, or one of the arguments we had, not an argument, the discussions we had on Thursday's show was Ed was saying he keeps his aquariums full, therefore the beneficial bacteria stays good. And I don't think that's true on its own. He does have snails in there, which do create ammonia, which, will keep the cycle, but they don't create a huge bioload. So unless you have a bunch of snails, I mean, if you have a ton of them in there, maybe. But if you only have a handful of snails, you're not going to have a big bioload there before. You're not going to have a big colony. And you can't just go dumping 27 fish in there. Nathan says, I do all of them. Fritz and API. Fish with daily water changes. I do a lot of that too. Like I'll monitor a tank that I do tear down and restart. Usually I don't test my water at all, unless I see something funky going on. But new tanks all the time, every day basically. Sometimes several times a day, just to make sure nothing's going sideways on me. But the problem is with my water, it's already sideways, so it's hard to tell sometimes. First tank, I like to feed the tank. Yep, that's another way of people doing it. They feed the tank. I've heard of people dropping like a shrimp cocktail down in there and just letting it rot, and that'll start things off. Takes forever though. So I mean, if you are impatient like most of us are, that's not the way to go. Using real names again, Jody. I don't know who Ben is. One of you must be Ben. We got Jenna P. I didn't see Jenna come in, but that's because I'm already probably 5 minutes behind. So yeah, that's where I was going with that. I do fish in cycles too. I have most of my life. It's never been a huge issue because I didn't go crazy and buy a whole tank full of fish and just throw them in there and hope for the best. Usually I buy one or two, and you put one or two tiny fish in a 55-gallon, it takes a long time for that to build up to critical levels. And if you just do your water changes, don't do a huge water change because you want some of that stuff in there, which I understand is hard on the fish, but I've never had any issues with it. Nothing has ever died on me unless I get stupid, and if I were to bring home like 40 fish from a swap or something and just throw them in a brand new tank, that would obviously go horribly wrong. But Steven says, I lost power to my FX6 on my 90 for 10 hours and all was fine. I powered it back on without cleaning it. Yeah, I've done that. I can't even tell you how many times I've done it. Hey, Kalish. Yeah, I've lost power for more than 10 hours at a time. I lost power here for 3 days, and everything kicked back on, and I didn't have any spikes. And that's not being heavily planted. Pardon me. Right. Yeah. Yeah, they really like ammonia, don't they? I mean, I don't know squat about plants because I can't keep them, so I've never really read up on them or anything. But I know they like them. I know they like the stuff that's bad for your fish even more so than the nitrates. Ammonia and nitrite are their preferred. Hey, Swivel. Kalish says, I do use like Fritz Design 7, both for new tanks and as needed, as meds adding to new fish, etc. I prefer to ghost feed for at least a week, even 7 with the 7 before adding, uh, oh, Fritz Design 7. Yeah, that's like doing a combination of several things right there, which is always, I'm a big proponent of hedging your bet. Like even like all my tanks have 3, 4, 5 different filters and heaters on them. It's crazy. Hey, we got Mr. Ed is in the green room and ready to come up. Yes, yep. Here we are.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, just to catch you up if you haven't been listening, I kind of continued our Thursday discussion. What do you do to keep your fish tank cycled was the first question. And we're just getting some feedback from the people in chat. And I told them what I do. I didn't really go over what you do because we kind of covered that Thursday. But if you want to go back into it for the people that weren't here for Thursday, feel free.
Well, I normally like keeping an old aged tank. So before I put any fish in, I let it age for about a month normally, sometimes even longer. And I
You
used
are
an old
you are rare in that.
sponge.
You know that, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
most of us are so gung ho on getting things going, and there's no way they let it go for a month.
And I go super slow. Sometimes I'll take a couple months. I let the plants really get a good growth, you
There's
know,
Ben. Hey Ben.
and everything. Ben, let me see if I can find us on Facebook or YouTube. There we go.
Jenna
And
caught
now,
me. I was looking at who's Ben? I
oh
don't know
gosh, my
Ben.
back is so sore.
What'd you do?
Yesterday, I had a migraine yesterday, so I laid in bed most of the day, and it just my laying kills me. And then today, baby cat just got out of the house, so I've been hunting her for like the last 20 minutes because I just can't run. Finally, she got too close to my mom, so she ran to me
Ah,
because we're putting a fence up in the backyard, or actually kind of a artificial wall next to the pool. We've got these flower beds that we grow things like ivory in and stuff. And it's got this artificial rock paneling in front. And I was gonna paint it, but it's about to rain this weekend, so Dad decided that he wanted it up quicker than instead of getting it painted.
I got you. So Nathan says he's cycling one of his 2.5s right now with 4 female endlers. I used to use
What?
goldfish a lot, but the problem is goldfish are so tolerant of everything that they'll live, and then I don't know what to do with them. You know, I can feed them to other fish, but I'm not that guy. I hate doing that.
Goldfish, man, they're just so dirty. I guess it would probably start up a system quick. Have you ever used Turbo Start? I've used Turbo Start also.
That was one of the options that I brought up. I have never personally used it. I know like Jason uses it, um, and there a couple of
Expensive.
the knuckleheads out of Florida there. No one here in particular. People we don't really talk about most of the time. Um, I know they used it. Um, the kid out of
Well,
Texas used it a lot.
I used it for when I got that puffer. I from Dan. I thought I had just 1 week, which I could have cycled it normally with that much time, but I still decided to use that also because I really wanted that dragon puffer to be healthy. And I put a giant sponge filter in there and used it also. And I turbo started it, and I thought I would have still like 5 days at least till I got that puffer, and it came in the very next day from Get
Well,
Gills.
that's good because I think the way I understand it, not having used it before, but just with what other people say, is you want the fish in there right away when you use the chemical stuff, right? Because otherwise it'll
Well,
just starve to death. You have to have something to feed it.
well, I did. I put a molly in there also
Oh,
to make sure that it'd be healthy too, and because I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to poison stuff. So I had a molly in there, and I put that dragon puffer in there, and then because it was during the middle of a stream that I was interviewing Rob from Flips Aquatics, and Rob told me he wanted to send me shrimp to open up live on camera. So I said, sure, that'd be awesome. I'm not going to turn down shrimps.
right.
And, well, and I went to open the box, and it was a puffer fish that was this big. It wasn't a bunch of shrimp. It came in a box like square, and I opened it up, and I pull out this puffer, and I went, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" So I ran down
He's like,
and
what?
yeah, I put the
Somebody's got to get him
puffer,
talking to.
in. I did the time, the temperature and everything, and it was almost spot on. So I decided just to do pretty much a direct drop in. And I don't know if he can hear me or not. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you. I'm right here.
Okay. So I just did a plop and drop, and that was one time that I let him have the water because all over the package it said the plastic, it said, be careful, he's got super sharp teeth and can bite fingers off.
Oh.
And it's like, oh my gosh. Or be careful handling the bag, he can bite your fingers through the bag or something like that.
Right.
So I got her, and it was a big female, and it was his biggest one he had. And so I think it was the oldest one he had. She only lived about a year and a half, but she was a lot of fun. She was a fun fish to have. It was when she died, though, it was really sad because she went and puffed up, and she was like bigger than a football. It was gigantic.
Really? I
She
didn't
was
know
just
they got
gigantic.
that big.
Well, she was about this big. She was about 10 inches or so, about that wide around. I called her sweet potato because she looked like a potato. And she just sat there, but she ate that molly so fast. After I dropped her in there, I turned around and the molly was gone.
Wow. Even
I
after
mean,
travel, she ate it up, right? Wow.
oh, I mean, she must have been really hungry, but that molly just disappeared. But
Wow.
yeah, so that was a surprise. And then it turned out that Rob's guys didn't send the fish or the shrimp because he just asked somebody to send them, in his team,
Right.
and they just forgot all about it because it wasn't a normal order.
Right.
But then they sent them to me like the next week, which was real nice.
Oh, they still
And I
send them
got
to you anyway?
yeah, and Andy sent me a T-shirt,
Well,
so
who
I have a
sent you the
Flips
puffer then?
Aquatics T-shirt. Well, I bought the puffer from uh Dan from Get Gills.
Oh.
See, Dan had ordered 75 red eye puffers, and they mailed him 75 dragon puffers. And dragon puffers are like a whole nother beast.
Yeah. I think you can keep the red eyes
They're
together,
huge.
can't you?
Yeah. So
Yeah, and dragon, you
but
cannot.
no, but he had just got done building an extension to his basement to have more fish tanks. So he had just put in like 100 tanks. So he was not wanting to have 75 of his 100 new tanks filled with these dragon puffers. So he
With
sold
one
them.
dragon puffer each.
Yeah. So he sold them for the price of the red eyes, which was like $45.
Oh, nice.
And that was just a tremendous deal, you know, a dragon puffer for $45. And then I did like a little, I bought that like membership from him to help him start his business. So I got 10% off also. And I don't know if I still get 10% off or not, but I got a lot less spending money nowadays, it seems like. But I was back then I was ordering more from him because I was setting up my fish room. And now I don't do a lot of different fish now. I'm normally just trying to keep the ones I've got alive.
Right. That's kind of what I was talking about when while you were chasing the cat around. Is I all my tanks are established, and I'm not one of these guys that's just getting fish to get fish, you know. So I have, you know, content. Uh, I have what I have, and that's not going to really change. So I run out of things to talk about. Like I've been talking a lot about those silly little catfish that I had breed for me, just because that's the most new and relevant thing going on in the fish room. So
Well, I was talking.
Prodigal Aquarist says I do like he likes to use sourdough starter. Is that like the
No,
bread?
I
Same
imagine
principle. Fill the tank.
it would have a lot of bacteria, or it would have yeast in the sourdough that probably helps start the
Huh.
bacteria.
Yeah, I never heard
Pretty
of
cool.
that method before.
Well, and I am doing a project. I don't know if I said it in the last one or not, but I was talking to
Okay.
Kenny E about it because Kenny E was asking me questions about guppies, how long it would take for his guppies to finally stop having babies because he's got a female that's been separated. He separated her 2 months ago and she's still having babies. And I said, dude, you might have 3 or 4 more drops with her.
Right.
But he wants to, she's some, I don't know, she's one type of fish or guppy, and then he's trying to add a green strain to her to see what it'll look like, you know. And I told him the best thing to do would be to just, because he doesn't want to wait the 6 months, you know, till she stops dropping. So I told him to put the male in with her because they'll use the fresher semen also, you know, with the, so I said, just put the male in there and then scoop out all the babies and just drop them into a tank for feeder fish, you know, but you'll be getting her ready to have
Yeah.
your mix. But I
Cleaning her
said, you
out.
don't, yeah, because otherwise she's a pure line dropping and that'll start. If he wants to do a real experiment to see if these two fish will work together, you know, he can't have those lines, you know, are having these other fish coming that are all whatever.
Yeah.
Let's call them a green Moscow. If they're all green Moscows, but the problem is if he puts the male in there and he wants to pull those green Moscow fry out and drop them into his straight line, they won't be straight because they'll have whatever. Let's
Right.
say it's a red Moscow. I don't know what it is, but it'll mess everything up. So I said you got to feed them to your angels or something.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me. I don't do a lot of work with guppies other than that 40-gallon tub out there that was supposed to be blue Moscow. It was blue on blue, whatever the blue on blue is. You know, like I think it was a dark blue body and a light blue tail. Um, and they came out all wonky. They came out looking like endlers, basically. Hey, we got another member of the panel is here. Are you ready to go? Yes. Give me a thumbs up. Yep, that looks like a tongue up.
Gross.
Dr. Anthony's here. Now I'm
Buenos
gonna have
Dr.
to.
Anthony.
dias, senors.
I have to
as
watch
he's
really
floating
close.
over the mountains.
Yes.
Well,
That's
so
his
my
view
new
from the
project,
airplane.
what I'm doing is I've got 3 full-size female platinums, albino platinums that they haven't dropped for a while now because I've had them in there for a long time, and I put one of my blue Japanese blues with it, and I just want to see what they'll make.
Just to see.
To have some fun.
Let me catch up with some of the chat. Welcome aboard,
Oh,
Doctor.
wow, Zen's here.
Cheryl says, if I want to keep a strong cycle in my quarantine tank, she'll add some mutt guppies to maintain the cycle. Otherwise, I just grab a sponge from an existing tank. Right. I used to do that, but I don't even do that so much anymore because like the quarantine tanks aren't empty that long. I'm kind of like Ed in that, not you like to run your tank empty for a long time. I like to quarantine forever. The fish
I
that I've got in
quarantine
there
way too
now,
long.
they've been in there for 6 months probably now, or at least 3 months for this batch. So I'm sure they're plenty ready to go into their forever home. I just haven't done it yet. So those tanks stay cycled anyway. How do you cycle out? You got a new fish tank room coming up, Doctor.
Yes.
What's your plan for your not quarantining, for starting up all your tanks? Are you going to be using like the Fritz Design 7? Do you just do you use other fish? What do you do?
I'll do it the natural way. I'll kill as many fish as I can to bring the ammonia up. No, I have
You pee in them.
no, I have a tub that I have some guppies and some goldfish in, that I have a bunch of sponge filters that are just sitting in there. So they're all cycled, ready to go. And once the room is set up, I will, move the sponge filters that are already in tanks, because I have a few tanks going, and then the sponge filters from the tub that I have that are cycled and ready to go. So
that seems to be the most common way to do it nowadays. But for a lot of people, like if you're a beginner and you don't have another tank that's already running, that's not usually an option. So I was just go slow. I mean,
one thing about all the mixes, whether it's Fritz or Dr.
What's
Tim.
the one that there's also, who makes the one that just sits on the shelves at like Petco's and PetSmart for months on end in room temperature?
That's usually Design 7.
Yeah.
Or API, but they both will sit on the shelf.
Yeah, but you still need like a good month using those to get your cycle going. So, it's not that much quicker. For those who are impatient, especially a lot of the beginners want to put their fish in right away and don't worry about, or don't really even know about the nitrogen cycle, even though every pet store, fish store should tell people about that. Just do a lot of water changes.
Yep.
Water change a week, 60-70%. You'll reduce all the ammonia and the nitrogenous waste products. It won't hasten that cycle from going, because all you're doing is replacing water.
Right.
Well, and your plants will take hold better too. If you have new plants that you're growing, the root systems will get a lot bigger, because, and then your fish won't be able to pull them out as quick. And maybe if one of the fish gets sick or something, you got to yank it real quick. Your roots will be a little better in there.
And if you do use live plants that are, from a store, bacteria is going to be covering all those live plants. Bacteria just don't live in the gravel. They live on every surface in your aquarium. You know, we all think, oh, we have this gravel bed, it's good for biological filter. It is, but any surface you have in a tank is going to be covered with bacteria.
And it's
you know,
all over
yeah,
those filters too.
filters on the glass, it's in every rock, it's in you have plastic plants, it's on your plastic plants. So, you know, it's always easy to take an established tank and take things from the established tank. You know, some people say don't do that because you're going to introduce diseases and things. Well, hopefully you don't have diseases.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hello to
and-
Eric Furlow, and Zenny's here. Hello.
Hi, Furlow. It's great to see you. Well, I was talking with Sean Peck once about diseases and plants, and it really seems like live planted tanks have a lot less diseases than plastic, planted ones. And, we don't know if it's just the nature of it, if
Mhm.
plastic just breeds better with the disease or what, but the live planted tanks just seem to be so much healthier for fish.
Speaking of that, Ed, how'd your garlic go?
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking about taking it out, but it's starting to root. It's starting to shoot down,
Okay.
but the stupid, oh, well, it's not there now. Maybe the snails ate it. I really need to clean this glass, but it's way in the back and I got stuff on top. So Thursday night, remind me before the show and I'll pull it out because I got all this crap on top. I'd pull it out, but it's starting to get roots underneath and starting to shoot a little bit on top without the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is last week some of the skin on it, the white flakes were coming down and getting stuck on some of my plants. But you know what? I don't see any of it. So I bet you the snails maybe ate all that, the skin off the sides of the garlic.
Water change problems, Whip?
Almost.
Oh,
Swiffle wants to know a question or has a question for somebody. I don't know the answer to it because I don't know what either of these products are. But does anybody know the difference between Fritz Expel P and Paraclins?
you know what? Let me go. I think I have most of the Fritz products because I've won them. So let me go grab it and see if I can find what ones they are.
I'm sure they're both for like parasites, right? Paraclins would be for parasites, right?
I would think so, but I've never used either. I'm not sure.
Yeah, me either. I'll be honest with you. I don't, other than Igex, I don't use chemicals to treat. I use heat and salt, and that's it.
Whip, your wife says, please don't flood the laundry room.
I got it, baby. So Eric Furlow came in. He has been kind of absent from the fish fam for a while. He's the one that gave John and Lisa his ornate biker when we went out there to help them move their fish tanks from North Carolina or to North Carolina.
So
I see him back in.
That's a good Light container or 6.
What was I supposed to look for?
Paraclins. I don't think it's Expel P is the Fritz brand. I don't know what the Paraclins. Who makes that?
Now, who was way back? So Big Cat said,
"Hey, Big Cat.
Paraclins is Prodsy Metros, and XLP is levamisole. So both are anti-parasitic.
Okay. So there's no real difference, I would imagine. Just a different label. Suanne, hey Suanne.
Yeah, levamisole is different than protocol.
A lot of these are for reefs.
For reeds?
Reefs, like saltwater.
Oh,
Maybe
bring them to me. My wife will eat them for her reef tank she's building.
well, that's why I think I got them too. This one's for fresh and salt. This stuff.
Oh, that's complete. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a conditioner.
Yeah.
I know I have more, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I got all these things from. I won them in at Aquashella in the
Rack is
raffle
here.
because nobody ever puts in on these types of things.
Rack
But
is here, Ed.
I also
Rack is here.
oh, hi Rack,
The riff
and then
raff.
I've got the quick start. But what I love about this is the lid. These lids are so cool because they have the little measuring device on them.
Oh, look at that go.
So you can use that for anything. I don't know. There's not much in there. I might throw some of that in there though anyway, just because it doesn't have aloe vera or something in there to kind of help feel better. But
Ed, come on.
I don't use it. I mean, I don't use it for starting the tank, but I figure if I've got it, it's not going to hurt. Even though this is priced so old. Let's see if it has an It expired
Hey, Dirt.
1/22/30.
So it hasn't expired yet.
Well, 22/30 or 2022.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what
Okay.
that 30
Yeah.
is underneath.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it expired.
It expired a long time ago.
And I might have an empty bottle of that Turbo Start somewhere, but oh well.
J Rock and Mary Oliver.
Hey, baby cat. Baby cat had an adventure today. She was outside.
She was. You were chasing her down.
Oh man, well, I was walking her down because I could barely move. But that's a bummer. I didn't have the ones that they
So,
wanted.
I always kept a spare sponge filter in my African cichlid tank for when I was setting up new systems. Would squeeze it into the new system with the stability for about 2 to 3 weeks, and it would be good to go.
Now, how do you cycle a
you-
saltwater tank?
Same way,
Same.
basically, right?
Yeah, same way.
Hey, Babs.
I'm so not looking forward to figuring that out. I've got
Mary says,
everything for it.
since came back into the freshwater fish world, people bought fish during COVID. We're going to simply flush them.
Oh my god.
That unheard of by me. So tanks and fish were gifted. Now what do I do?
Now you just have a
Ex
million
Cali
fish.
Kev.
If it's COVID, they probably, if they're small fish, may have lived their lifespan.
Yeah, by now.
Or slowly
5 years.
living out their lifespan.
Unless they're like guppies and they just self-perpetuate.
Yeah. If they're live bearers. If that's the case, buy yourself if that's the case, put an angelfish in with them.
Oh, see, I'm too thick. Apparently, the sourdough was an analogy. Sorry,
No,
I don't know.
I
didn't pick up on that.
I didn't realize that. I was thinking maybe you really did it.
Yeah, me too.
I think it would still trying to do what you want it to do.
Captain McReynolds, hey. And Moose is here.
Hey, you Moose.
I'm not seeing any more. Oh, wait. Foxy's here.
No way.
So the Zen Gen. Oh, she's just trying to get likes for me. Thank you, Zenny.
Oh, for crying out loud.
And she's talking about the Foxland wedding page. If you
Oh,
haven't,
do I need to sign up for that?
no, that's more for donations so that we can all have pizza afterwards.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I've been trying to kick in like 20 to 25 a week. But
Oh my
there's been
God,
other
that's super.
people that have fallen ill, or like the metalheads had one of their friends, their house burned down.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, I don't have a lot of money, but I can send you a little. And then of course Lisa from New Jersey, Lisa NJ, she's battling cancer, so I went that way too. So many people in need. The Whipster only has so many dollars.
Yeah.
Night Owl.
And he has to pay Doc Ant and me a lot to be on the show.
That's right.
We charge
Although
75 cents an hour.
you both got deducted time today.
What? He's only giving me 10 cents an hour. I want a raise.
Oh.
Way to go, Ed.
Man,
Blowing my cover.
I now know where I stand.
Big Steve. What kind of seeds, Jody? I must have missed something.
Oh,
Oh,
Jody
today's
P.
Jody's birthday.
Yeah, it's
So
been
happy birthday,
coming up.
Jody.
You went through it in chat as you were going through there. You didn't even say anything.
I know. I zoomed right past it.
Is today Dr. Anthony's birthday?
No.
His birthday's at some point this week.
No, it was 8 days ago, Ed.
I effed that up pretty bad last on your show there, Ed. I like to use the
I was hoping he was celebrating Thursday, and that's why he couldn't hang out with us.
the Denzel Washington quote from Malcolm X. I was bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
I've got a question for, is Jody P still here?
Is Jody P still here?
Yes, she is. At 12:42, she chimed in.
Jody, I make these action figures and stuff, and one of the people that I'm making an action figure for asked me to make one of you as her henchman, because she wants you to be her henchman. Would you mind if I made you into an assassin? Action figure henchman.
Hello, Asia and Bipolar's here.
I was going to ask her that
in today as I am still stuck at work. Aw.
Oh. Well, hopefully it's overtime. I was going to ask Jody that on Whip's show when she was on there. What happened? Why was I not able to get on the show that week?
I don't remember, but it was just me and Doc, right? There was no show for it, right?
Yep.
When I had Jody and Bougie on our show. Yep.
I don't remember what was going on that weekend.
So Ed, she said she'd be honored.
Aw. Honored. That's
yeah, but he'll make you watch out. He may make you into a cone head.
Dr. Anthony's.
There he is.
It's much better.
And look,
a cone head, but it's much better.
It doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
He's our
tilt him back a little more.
official doctor
reduce the angle
Tennessee
of the
Fish
dome.
Mafia.
So Stephen P says microbes do have a way of just assimilating where they can thrive. I do wonder if you add an ammonia source but don't add bottled bacteria and just wait, would the microbes have shown up anyway?
Yes, they're all over the place. So yeah.
How do they get all over the joint?
I think they're just naturally in the water, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like those freaking water bears are freaking gross.
Yeah, but you can't see them.
I know, but it's disgusting thinking that Oh, I'm just gonna drink 5,000 water bears.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like, I know you even said something when you first came in, Doctor, but one of the methods back in the day was to pee in the tank, put urine in the tank. And I never did that. I never tried it, but
You know what
I
would
know
probably
that was a
work better
thing.
than human pee? Cat pee. Because it's got a lot of ammonia in it.
I think they all do.
I just don't want to hold my cat over a fish tank that long. And cats can hold their pee for a long time.
Mountain Greenery, hello, hello.
I mean, when I moved from St. Louis to Chattanooga, it was probably a 10-hour drive because I had to eat lunch. And the cats didn't pee one time or anything in their little cages. They just stayed in their boxes, and baby cat kind of went to sleep, and Nico just cried the whole freaking time.
I don't know what that is. Anybody?
Well, he's
All in capitals.
a shitty store.
Yeah, he just didn't want to curse.
Yeah. So, I use Prezi Pro, which is, for cestodes. I forgot the common name. So, Prezi Pro works good. General Cure will work good for external stuff. So, there's a lot of things that will work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as if you do antibacterials, it, doesn't affect the biological cycle.
Yeah, before or after when you're trying to clean that
Yep.
crap out of your tank.
Yep.
I missed Rack. Yeah, you did.
He just came in and came out.
And June. Hello, June, my fellow Oscar lover.
You know what, Dr. Anthony?
What there, Chattanooga Ed?
We need to get a shortstop on your baseball team.
No, I thought it was a third baseman.
I think it was the shortstop.
No?
I know you thought it was
No.
the third baseman, but it's.
Yeah, you got a third baseman at first, a third baseman at third, a third baseman in utility,
I'm
and a third baseman. You have two third basemen on your bench. I think during the draft, you kept thinking you needed third base.
Well, that's all I usually got to was third base. So,
yeah, but you know
we
what?
miss you too, buddy.
Third base is safe.
Yep.
Mary says she uses microlift.
Microlift, yep.
Smells like shit, but needs refrigeration once open. That's
know,
the same with most of them.
Microlift, these were bacteria that were brought in from
Hey, Jason.
sewage treatment plants. I mean, that company, before it became Microlift, used to sell bacteria for septic tanks.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So, it's the same.
They should still do that.
Yeah, they still.
Probably a bigger demand.
Yep.
Well, I've got a question. Those little black bugs that you put in your saltwater tanks?
Black bugs.
Yeah. They're a little black crustacean.
Oh.
They're super small. Your gobies eat them.
Copepods.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you buy those extra to put in, or do you just buy a piece of live rock to stick into your tank? You get them, or how do you get those?
We actually buy them right now. We have seahorses here, and we've been adding copepods to the tanks. because they're smalls, to make sure there's enough food in the tank for them. So we before we didn't buy copepods or amphipods or anything like that. They just came in with live rock.
Yeah.
But we're actually boosting up the amount in the seahorse tank just to make sure they have food.
See, I didn't want to add much live rock because I don't want any bristleworms
Yep.
in there.
Yep.
CC.
Yep.
So I was wondering other ways around it. And I know you might get a couple of them with your frags that you put in there,
Yep.
but not many because
Yep.
the frags are so small and I'm buying cheapy frags,
Yep.
not big frags. So I was wondering if you just ever bought like a little bag of them, or do they come in a bottle, or what do
They
they
come in a bottle. A lot of the better saltwater stores actually sell bottles of live copepods. Yep.
Well, I
They're
may
not
have to
cheap.
drive to Knoxville because our aquarium or our pet stores here, one has salt water, a little area in it, but they're mostly just fresh water here in Chattanooga. And the one douchebag place I won't go to that has a lot of salt water. So I'd
Don't
rather just drive
sugarcoat
the
it.
extra 20 minutes.
Well,
They're thieves. They're
you
con
also-
men.
you also can go to eBay, buy them on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah, eBay has a lot of. You can buy pretty much anything
Oh.
for your saltwater tank now on eBay.
Topo pods.
Copepods, COPEDO.
Man,
Copo.
I spelled it with an extra or an E instead of a P.
Yeah, Zen said tiger pods. Yeah, tiger pods will work. You have to watch out though. So a lot of them, especially like tiger pods, need to be refrigerated, and they won't survive very long in a tropical type aquarium. Warmer aquarium.
I'd like to see how they catch those.
Well, take a small seine. They run it through the water, and a lot of them are cultured in the lab now
Crazy.
too. So,
Wow.
Then he says, she left chat for a second, and now she can't even scroll back to where I am. I'm so far behind. Moose is trying to put the moves on a married woman. You're all, not really. I'm just kidding. But he's not wrong either.
Yeah, well, wait till you see how she becomes a super assassin.
Oh yeah, that's true. She's gonna go bad on us. I need another sponge filter so I can set up a 2.5.
Yeah.
I don't even know
I've
what
got
I
a
would do
bunch
with
of
a 2.5.
threes I need to fill.
Some of those small fish live longer than you might think. I know neons live for a long time.
The neon tetra will live up to 8 years. It's one of the
Or-
longest lived of the
I think might
tetras.
even longer. I'm drawing a blank on her name. The longtime female Pennsylvanian.
Lisa?
No.
Pennsylvanian? Oh,
She quit for a while.
Susie Q?
No,
No.
she just came back.
O'Leary. O'Reilly. Rachel.
Rachel Leary. Yeah.
Thank you. Good Lord Almighty. She
going-
had some that were like 10 years old. I'm like,
I had to
what?
escape a tank for her.
Why?
I had to escape a tank for an auction once for her.
Oh,
Because
Indoor
she didn't
fishing
show up.
inside.
And so he asked me to do it. And it's like, oh, man. Oh, well.
You're worth it there, Pep. You and Foxy both.
Hi, Pepster.
No one
Did you know that
Jody's like
Pep went
Jody's
live
Jody.
not last Friday, but the Friday before? But I was out of town or something. What was I doing that weekend?
That was Saturday, you mean, right? Were you at a convention maybe?
I took
weeks
my
ago?
mom to a I took my mom to a quilting convention, and my dad went too. And we went out to lunch because her friend was doing a talk. And it turned out her friend made my mom go up to the front and do a talk with her. So my mom had to do the talking, and we were gone eating. Darn it.
Darn it
I
all.
wish I could have.
Hey, Mama Bird. I need some of this, Mama Bird. Holy crap, I have 50 people in here. That's been a long time since I saw that many people. No, the COVID fish living out their days once researched on how to care and alive, I believe, because learned the nitrogen cycle. Thank you to Corey, John, Jason. Fish not merely fill the tank and feed. No, that's for sure. Although that's how most of us start off. You're a good woman. Thank you. Thank you. So we got, thank you. There she is. There's Mrs. Whip.
Hiya.
Hey, there's another guy here.
I said hi, y'all.
Oh, hi, yeah. I thought I heard hi, Ed.
Checking my blood
I'm a nobody. We know that. 10 cents an hour. 10 cents an hour, Doc. That's about what I'm worth.
Way to go, Ed. Now I have to pay him more. 47 people in chat. That's Whip's number. That's right.
Is that how old you are, Whip?
No, that's I'll show you. Because it's hard
Peru
for
was
me.
good. The glowfish are still alive. We're actually building new tanks. Not we, because I'm back here in Oregon. They're building new tanks right now to replace some of the leaky old wooden tanks that we hadn't replaced before. So we put a black light on the glowfish to make them glow even more.
I don't have a black light on my dad's glowfish tank.
That picture not there.
But they like to settle down to kind of into the plants and stuff at the bottom of the tank. But when he feeds, they all come up and they're all over the place. We got 4 of these little Cory cats that just love to swim nonstop at the top, and they become the greatest dither fish of all time. Oh, 47. I got you.
That's why.
Was he a linebacker or a defensive back?
He tried both. He was kind of a smaller. He did not take after me until later. When he got to in his 20s, he was over 6 foot tall, but he was slight. He was not
when did you start getting tall?
I got tall right away. I was tall right from the get-go. I got actually I grew in high school. I grew like 3 inches over my freshman and sophomore year. In that 3-month period.
I only grew 1 inch in high school. I was a big disappointment. Everybody thought I was going to be super monstrous.
Yeah, you were going to be huge.
Yeah, I was a 6'1" freshman. And then by the time I was a senior, I was only 6'2".
Yeah, I think I came into high school about 6'2", and I ended up being 6'5" by the time I left.
I'm waiting to, hit my growth spurt to get up past 5'10". So,
well, you'll be our running back.
I'll be the 10-cent running back.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we don't want him to be our running back.
Did you see Jody? She says, cone or no cone? My answer is the same, meaning she'd be honored.
Awesome.
He's not going to give
We're
you
having a lot of fun making these things. This is the one I'm working on right now. I need a really cool big black hat for him.
Nancy wants to know, are you making all the women bad guys, Ed?
That's what I should do. No, let me grow. I got Killer Kitty in the other room.
And we're back to 47. We're going to drop. I don't mind dropping that number. I love what?
Tardigrades.
I don't know what that is. Is that a fish?
No, it's the little water bears.
Oh,
Killer Kitty is our local Lowe's girl that sells us all of our supplies from Lowe's.
Well,
She won't
wait.
make you wait.
Speaking of Lowe's, how's the door going?
Well, we ended up telling Lowe's to screw them themselves.
You get your money back?
It took about a week and a half to get our money back, and they gave my dad like $2,700, but it was $35 short. And so he went back and he said, I want that $35. And they said, well, that was because our expert came in and measured your house, and that was the $35 for measuring the door. He says, every time the door came in, it was a different size.
So,
You didn't get a very good expert. I want my $35. And they said, here's your $35. But we got our door for they kept giving us all these problems about the door. My brother-in-law measured the doorway. It was a standard door that they sell everywhere. And we got it at Home Depot for $600, installed it. So, I mean, my dad made $2,100 by having us do it instead of, and I say us, I did very little. All I did was balance it and push and stuff, while my brother-in-law did all the real work because he's a professional. But yeah, the reason why my mom didn't want my brother-in-law to do it though is because he's been so busy. Like it took him a year to fix my light, and she didn't want him to take a year to put the door in. But after he saw her crying, he put it in right away.
Squatchy's here.
Hiya.
And
Oh.
there's your spelling.
So
for
she's our
coke
good guy. That's our Killer Kitty that sells stuff to Lowe's. And then I've made a Sandy Doherty, and she's the Canadian Sniper. And Sandy Doherty's G.I. Joe name is Bus Stop because she's a bus driver in real life.
Oh, clever.
Yeah.
Babs, I would think you're probably overthinking.
yeah, I don't think fish give it much thought.
I'm not saying that they are completely emotionless, just machines, but I don't know that they have the same. Although people say that about dogs, and I know dogs think.
Well, but there's big difference. If you look at the the emotional center of the brain, ours is very large. Fish really don't have an emotional center part of the brain. So,
and yet, like my flower horn, well, that thing is. I can't believe how personable that thing is. I mean, it's not going to, miss me when I'm gone, but compared to the tetras who barely even acknowledge my existence other than feeding time.
I've got 2 goldfish from Foxy, and one of them has a swim bladder problem, so it's always laying on the bottom of the tank. And and it doesn't eat nearly as much as the big blackmore because he can swim up to the top to eat. But the big black guy just stares at her all the time, or sits like near her or swims around her. So I think he probably feels bad that he's not having fun with her. Swimming around.
Yeah, sure, Ed. Yeah. Speaking of third base, right?
Yeah.
Probably depends on the fish. Smarter fish like cichlids, maybe guppies and rainbows, probably not so much.
Smarter fish. Ooh, that's we're getting into the things that I can have problems with.
Well, I mean, your cichlids, Is it really smarter how they all kill each other?
Well, is it smarter that we all kill each other?
I don't kill each other.
Oh, but there's a lot of people out there that do.
Yep. And those are the ones that we need to destroy with G.I. Joe. Don't mess with Big Steve.
Dr.
Steve's
Anthony, have you watched George, whatever that last name is, trip to Peru? Oh, that's the Aquashella guy, right? Is that the
Oral
Aquashella guy?
fish. Well, I've seen some of his trip videos. I haven't seen the one to Peru. You go to the market. If it's the Belen market, yeah, we go occasionally. You find a lot of, when I show pictures of Peru with all the fish that they have in the market that we have in our aquarium, that's from the Belen marketplace.
See you later, Nathan. I probably missed you by
Bye,
20
Nathan.
minutes. 15.
Time
I'm like
flies.
still
You're having
15
fun.
minutes behind. Makes sense. Nancy Babs agrees. Poo-poo pods. Popo pods.
Oh, wow. We're really behind.
Well, we as in me. Last time I bought Live Rock, I wound up with 2 mantis shrimp.
Oh,
Had to
that's
move them
awesome.
out before they started picking off the fish. 2 of them. I don't imagine they would do well together. I don't know how that is because I don't keep saltwater, but just watching other people feed them, they don't seem to tolerate much coming into their little area. There will be a spelling test. Whippy Jody actually watches my videos more than I can say you do. I watch them. I just don't always comment anymore. I've been slacking on commenting. School of Rummy Nose tetras
Wow.
that are
5 years for
Wow.
Rummy Nose.
wow.
That's
That's
impressive.
because Zenny knows how to keep fish. Maybe 4.5, but almost 5.
Well, good luck trying to get to 5 now.
Yeah,
You
right.
jinx them.
I bet all those
on that
red
wood.
noses are going to turn white tomorrow and be face up the day after.
Hey, there was a question there, Whip.
You
So
missed
I
the
know
question.
neon
Yeah, I'm
tetras
just
are pH
I'm just
sensitive.
clicking.
They wild ones are. I would say captive bred ones probably aren't as pH sensitive. Just depends on what pH they were born in.
Wouldn't
Right.
you say 90% of them are wild?
Oh no,
Not anymore.
not anymore.
Oh, yeah?
I'll tell you this much: neon tetras out of Peru are getting very rare these days. The main location where they would catch them from has really been destroyed by agriculture. So we waited 6 months for we had to buy 2,500. That's all we could buy was 2,500 neons, and that was all that the fishermen had.
Wow.
So,
Whoa.
yeah, most I would say 90% of our fish are really not wild caught anymore that we have in the hobby.
That's why
I thought
when people
neons were
say,
just so
they're
easy.
trying to, get their African cichlids to whatever the parameters are in
Yeah.
whichever lake they came from. I'm like, why? Just they came from Florida.
Yeah.
Well, do you know who got the neon tetras to breed first? I do.
I do not.
Some Czech person probably.
Woo! Yes. When the wall went up, they weren't able to bring those fish in, so they had to, if they wanted to keep them, they had to figure it out, and they
Yep.
did. The Czechs are really good fish breeders.
Hey,
Or
Alec.
fish hobby, or they love fish. They have a huge company where they supply a lot of the supplies for fish, like supplies to Europe. It's called Tetra, but it's not the same Tetra that we have.
Mhm.
And they have like 6 factories between the Czech Republic and Slovakia.
Sketty. Sketty
Pretty
knowing us
cool.
here.
Hi, Sketty. Of course, my family, they breed a German Shepherd that's like a mountain sheep type dog.
I don't want to. I don't like pressing people to do that, Zenny.
What's that?
She said I read the 47 part, but not the part reminding people to hit the dang alike.
Oh, I
I
got
figure
you.
if people want to do that, they'll do it.
We'd also appreciate
I'm
it
not
if you
big-
would like to subscribe and tell all
Yes.
your friends.
Well, if you're here, you're subscribed.
Well, if you're in the chatting, you've subscribed.
Correct. If
You
you're
know,
chat.
there may be some unsubscribed lurkers out there. Shame on you. Shame on you if you're an unsubscribed lurker.
Although we love you too. Hey, and the freak is here herself, Holly Gibbs.
Hey, Holly.
Oh,
Ollie.
Skitty's outside in the sun and can't see chat. Well, you enjoy it out there, and we'll see you next weekend, I think, right? Aren't you going to be heading to Iowa, Illinois border there for the Quad City swap?
That would
Last
be
I heard she was.
Hi, George.
It makes me feel like a hobbit.
so. Next weekend is the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society's big swap. So I'm going to be driving up there 3 hours to Seattle for us.
You know, I had plans on Saturday to do something, but I also was wanting to go with the Knoxville club or the Nashville club to go check out
Hey, Tracy.
the clownfish factory.
Mm.
But my local pond store is having a grand opening, or they made a bigger facility, and they're going to be giving out like 20% off deal all day and stuff. I was thinking about buying all my plants for my tubs. They were going to give out a bunch of free koi also, but I don't want a koi. If they give me a koi, I'll just take it over to Rob's and give it to him.
I'm just making sure I didn't miss somebody. Nessa. Oh, right there, Aquatic Nets. Hey, Nessie.
Only 3 more likes to get 45.
Woohoo! Does anyone else
Hello,
feel
you
like
said that.
I do? Cichlids get more aggressive with more with
Inbreeding.
breeding. I find them to be so hit or miss no matter what you do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the more cichlids you get in there, the less fighting they do.
Right, but
Yeah,
she's
but this
saying, do they get more aggressive as you inbreed them, as you breed more and more of them from the same line?
See, I just don't take them out of the tank, so that way they I don't know. I just didn't have problems with my Africans. I mean, I'd give them to people
Africans?
for free. I would scoop them up and give them to people at my factory back in the day. Oh, I had a dream that I was back in the auto factory yesterday, and I had taken Nico to work with me.
I have 2 of these guys that chase each other relentlessly. They're chasing each other all the dang time. But they never do any damage to each other.
They both males?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, they don't look the same. Like this one doesn't have the stripes, but it could just be less dominant. Here comes the other one.
Does one have
See,
egg
this one-
spots on its?
This one's doing like a little dancey thing, and then this one chases it around, and then this one will get tired of it and chase the other one around. But see
They're
how
just
this one
having
doesn't have
fun.
this? Could be.
Can you look to see if one has egg spots?
I don't know what an egg spot is.
Well, but that's only Malawi's, right?
Yeah, this is Lake Tanganyika.
Yeah.
No.
See, like this guy has dark cheeks. This one doesn't. That one has stripes. That one doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. I just bought them at the swap. He said they're rare, so I said I'll take them.
That's awesome.
You know, some I know like black rams. As you inbreed black rams, they get highly aggressive.
Hmm.
As you inbreed them?
Yeah, you know, because you trying to fix that black, because you know most first generation black rams, when you breed them, you get all gold rams from them,
Oh, okay.
and so you want to inbreed to fix the color.
Did you see that new red ram?
Yeah, but that I that was on Facebook. Yeah, I think that has to be color light treated or something. I mean, that's yeah, it was
Nuts.
being lambasted on the in the ram group. You know, the guy saying, "What are these fish?" And you know, so way of trying to advertise your fish. You know, why would you put it in a ram group if you didn't know it was a ram already?
Oh, I didn't realize it. Yeah. What? Oh well. I thought it was a real pretty fish.
It was, yeah,
Danny V.
yeah.
Danny V. Hey, Danny V, brother Dan.
But I just don't like the black rams.
I like. There's a ram they call Blue Knight, which is kind of black but has really bright blue stripes through the face. Those are nice ones. I've never seen them. I've only seen pictures of them.
Hello,
like
the other Ed.
I like nice German blue rams. You know, really nice, pretty German blue rams.
I do too. I like either the German blue rams or I like the yellow sun ones or whatever, that are yellow and orange. That
Yeah,
really
I'm not much into the yellow orange rams.
The purposely bred ones like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're more of a natural guy, right? I mean, I know you like your discus that way, and
Yeah, but you know, I like blue diamond discus. You know, it's just I don't like the orange, the yellow ones, the discus that, you know, it's just personal choice. You know, some people like balloon fish and
right.
long.
Oh no,
You know,
I wasn't criticizing. I'm just
No,
saying.
no, yeah,
I think yeah, it
and
seems
I
like
don't
that's
look.
the way you lean.
Yeah, I don't look down upon those fish per se. It's just something I don't appreciate. Like Carlos, our general manager at the research center, man, he loves anything longfin. He loves longfin fish. You know, and every time he sees a longfin fish, he emails, "Hey, can you buy me some and bring me some?" No, I won't bring you any longfins.
I ain't doing it.
Yep, those are golden rams. Yep.
yeah, they're pretty.
Are they albino? Because it doesn't have a red eye, as far as I can tell.
No, that's just the color. You know,
They've bred it
Yep.
to be orange.
That
Yep.
was at what was down in Miami, the guy he's dead now, but he was the big discus guy, Jack something.
Jack Watley.
Yeah, that was at Watley's where I got that photo or that little video. But
I'm getting close to 900.
He had a whole mess of them.
I didn't even know that.
What's that?
Then he said, I'm getting close to 900. I had to go look. 892. Look at that. Woohoo.
Holy crap. I'm going to go sub to her then.
When
I
told myself I wouldn't sub to her till she got to 1,000.
No, Ed, they're saying Whip is at 900 now.
Oh, well, it turns out I'm subbed to her already, so I need to unsub.
Okay, so as soon as
She's
Whip
at
gets
592.
as soon as Whip gets 1,000 subs, we get a raise.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You're up to a
10%
quarter.
raise.
Oh, a quarter? I was thinking you'd give me 11 cents, but a quarter, I'll take that.
I slam that button as if I pay the bills around here.
Hey, Kayla, see you in about a month. I'll be driving down to the Findig. I already paid my
Hey,
way in. I got to
hey,
get the
Jorge.
hotel.
Jorge's in the house. And she is a delicate flower after all. That's Melvin, right? Love to trip one. No, that's RJ.
Yeah.
Says so right there in his name.
Yeah, sorry, parenthetically RJ Bushnell. So
Yeah. How you doing, RJ?
so I did bring a small electric eel back from Peru.
Did you?
My wife doesn't know it yet. She didn't want me to bring it. So I'm thinking about taking it to Findig and selling it in their auction.
That's a thing. They get big. What do they get down there? Are they like 5-6 foot at maximum?
Yeah, the largest one we've had at the aquarium was 6 feet long. And they just sit there.
Until you put food in there.
Yeah, they're very sluggish creatures. So I'm wearing the Mexicali t-shirt, Mexicali fish t-shirt. That's
Oh,
why.
no way.
Oh.
That's an awesome shirt.
Yep.
I didn't even know you had shirts, George.
Me neither. Stand up again, Dr. Anthony.
He hand delivered this to me when he was visiting our local club in Southern California.
All
That's
right.
awesome. I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt.
I'm wearing Aquarium Domains t-shirt.
I would wear a Tennessee Fish Mafia t-shirt if I had one.
Oh, gosh.
Soon. He'll have that website up.
Yep.
Or
But we really need you to wear this type of an outfit.
well, my lab coat was purple.
Oh no!
Well, what,
Hit
did
the
you
paint out.
accidentally wash your lab coat with your underwear?
No, that's purple is my favorite color, so I bought my lab coats were always purple. So
Well, darn.
that's
We
okay.
have to change that.
No, it's okay. I have white ones somewhere.
Well, people will ask, why is it purple? And then
I think that one is directed at
it's
you.
obvious.
Yeah,
he
so
wears
I've done it.
purple.
Yeah, probably some type of cancer, so to speak. So or what's another better word for that?
Whip's jacket was light brown, and I painted it black.
Woohoo.
So it's probably not going to kill the fish. But it always looks ugly.
I got a bent arowana that hey B-Wood. It's fine otherwise, but ugly because he's got a kink in him.
Isn't that it has Priones disease? What's that disease?
The drop eye?
I just assumed that he crashed into the side of the tank or something.
I'm sorry, I was trying to make a bad joke. That's
Don't they
What
also
did you
get drop
what did you
eye?
call it?
Priones or
I missed what you called it.
Priones or it's when you have a bend in your Johnson.
Gosh.
Well, you're talking to two guys that probably wouldn't even know what that is.
Well, thank you, Whip. I don't even have a bend in my spine. My spine is straight. When I went there and they did x-rays on me last time, they said, you should have like a bow in it, and mine's just become straight since the surgery, which is
That's probably
adding to
not
my
good.
pain. No.
B. Wood just dropped off a bunch of bristlenose and Cory cats, panda Corys,
Oh, nice.
at the old local pet store. Furlough says, I've had cichlids that wouldn't hurt a fly, and I've had ones that made Dahmer look
Dahmer.
like a guppy.
And look, Lumpy Dog's here.
Hey, Lump!
Lumpy Dog's awesome. All your rainbow fish are still alive and getting big.
I am experiencing, if you're seeing me freeze up, it would appear I'm having internet issues. So if I lose you, that's why.
What are you eating, Ed?
Lemon drops.
I
Little drops of
love,
lemon.
I love
See you later,
anything
Tracy.
sour
You're
like
probably
that.
gone by now, but
I
see
do
ya.
too. Well, I like hard candies too.
I
I've had
like-
a really hard time though. I think they've stopped making a lot of hard candies. It's really strange. You can't find them, but Walmart had a whole bunch of like the old fashioned candies,
Yep.
and I bought this one and I was thinking maybe I should buy more and stick them in the freezer. I don't
Only
know.
problem with it, they put the ascorbic acid only on the outside. So as soon as you get through that first layer, it's just sweet. That's why I like sour strips. They're tarty to the core.
I just chew them up after I get done
Oh.
with the stuff.
Bolivian rams. I think that's the only kind of ram I can keep here based on what Primetime Aquatics was saying. And even his water and my water is different enough where I might not even be able to keep them. I know regular, what are the black rams and all that? What are those?
They
What
tend to be
species?
softer water, yeah.
Yeah, I can't keep those to save my life or their life for that matter.
So Barbara Jackson at Findig, maybe we should exchange sour candies.
Mm.
And there's Kalish. And Toonie Loon. Hello, hello. 10 minutes ago. I'm not seeing any more questions yet, so I'm going to just keep
Hello?
going. 7 away from 900. That's right.
Before I knew that I was coming in and doing your show, I thought you said you weren't doing your show this week. On
No,
Thursday.
That was last weekend.
last weekend I was
Gotcha.
traveling.
That's a link to Zen's website. And if you go there, you can sub to her, and she has an amazing video about glowfish. It's a really good video. It's like a professionally made one. And you'll be like, where did Zen get these talents and why isn't she using them?
Yeah, right.
She made that like 5 years ago.
Longfin rams. I finally caught up to where she said that she's going to the Findig.
So you're only like 5 minutes behind now.
Well, we get to see Kalish every Tuesday.
We do. And sometimes she's fireballing people, and sometimes she's hacking at them with her crazy little axes.
And sometimes she's petting her wieners. Dogs.
Oscar Myers, right?
She's got 3
Dog.
wiener dogs.
3 wiener dogs.
I really like Dachshunds. I think they're cute dogs.
Then he's going to send you some purple rit dye.
I go to I'm speaking in Tampa Bay at Pasco at the Eaters Club in the second weekend of May. And last time I was there, I had my purple beard, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do that again.
Benji's here. He knew what you were talking about.
Yep.
Ben knows everything.
Yeah, he's a smart fella.
We may have to start calling him the doctor.
There's Lumpy. I finally got down to there.
I'm just
Have
a
a dog.
10-cent doctor.
So, what do you think about nurse practitioners? Would you
Mm,
rather see a nurse practitioner or your doctor?
Oh, I would prefer my doctor, but
yeah, I prefer my doctor.
I think I should get a discount if I see the nurse practitioner. I mean, if it costs $35 to see my doctor, it ought to cost only $20 to see my nurse practitioner
so
because her education costs a lot less.
a lot less and a lot less
And the
time.
last time I saw one, she almost killed me because I'm on blood thinners, and she gave me I had like tripped on a set of stairs, and my back was spasming real bad, so bad I couldn't really stand. So she gave me muscle relaxants and steroids, and it caused my blood to go to a 5. And that's super thin. That's like if you bang your head, you die. I had to give myself a shot in my stomach. I think the nurse practitioner should have given me the shot in the stomach, except it was over a holiday. That's why I
So
had to do it myself because nobody was around.
I haven't been dealing with a practitioner for very long, but now that either our doctor's too busy or whatever they use them, I don't know. But I went in there because lately my blood sugar just goes super high in the morning, and whether I eat or don't eat, whether I eat carbs, whether I don't eat carbs, whatever it just jumps, up close to 200 for no reason at
Does
all.
your body let you know somehow? Do you like get tired, or do you get like
No,
lightheaded?
nope. If I go super low, then I get like dizzy. But for the most part, I have no idea. If it wasn't for this thing that is jabbed in the back of my arm. But I went in there and I asked her, and I said, "Look, how much do you know about diabetes? Are you up on that disease enough to discuss it?" And she kind of gave me a look like, yeah. But then when I asked her, I said, well, why is it doing this? She goes, I don't know. I'm like, Jesus. I don't know.
Well, so the diabetes has never affected your body?
Just when it goes low.
Okay.
Like
Just
when
to make
I,
sure
when
it
it,
isn't a scam. Like, what if it turns out you don't have diabetes at all? They're just trying to ruin your life.
well, the meter that they got hooked up to me tells me otherwise. But I would, you know what? It would be kind of interesting to like stick it on my wife or somebody that I know doesn't have it and see what it does when they eat the same things I eat, just
Like
for reference.
I've been just eating pure sugar today.
Hey, you
I'm
don't want to
only
get to
eating-
Daniel's question, the one that you had up there that you didn't get to?
Anyone keep discus with guppies?
I have not. I keep discus, but guppy's going to have a very, very fast life cycle with that high temperature.
Yeah, and
But they'll breed a lot too.
Yep.
angels will eat the discus or eat the guppies that are with the discus.
Well,
I don't know
they
if they
didn't say
would.
they're going to have angels, bozo. They only have discus.
Blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry.
Yeah, your guppies
sour
aren't
straw
going to live.
Sour straws.
for the win. So make sure you bring some to Findig there, Kalish.
Are you offering, Cheryl? Because absolutely I would.
What's EBA? I don't know what EBA is.
Electric blue Akara.
Oh, okay.
Oh, neato.
Cognito.
That would look awesome in one of his tanks.
I have 3, but
Oh, that's awesome.
they don't breed for me.
Yeah, I'm going to answer a question real quick because we're on it right now.
Okay.
I don't think the discus would eat the guppies because, discus aren't really aggressive eaters. So I believe, what Steven says, the discus probably wouldn't even have the motivation to chase down a guppy.
I bet they'd look at them though. It'd be cute to see their eyes look at them as they swim around them.
I mean, they're bigger, obviously, but I think when Lisa was keeping from KG Tropicals, when she was keeping discus, she had rummy nose in there,
Oh yeah,
which
but
are bigger. They're bigger,
found,
but
but rummy nose are found in the same environments as as
Oh.
discus. So
Yeah, and people keep cardinal
Hey,
tetras all
Cody.
the time with them.
yep.
But tetras are a lot faster than guppies. If it's like a big old fancy boy guppy,
Yeah, but I
might be
really
easy.
don't think discus have it in them to go chase anything down.
And if they do, it's worth it because it's a discus. They deserve to eat steak. They
As
deserve to eat
opposed,
anything they want to eat.
as opposed to beef heart.
Yep. I mean, I think if a discus wants to eat something, he deserves to eat it. Or she. There's my buddy, Jeremy from J&N.
There he is. And you got people all fired up about this hard candy that I can't have.
My favorite is cherry life or cherry. Well, I like cherry lifesavers, but I like cherry Jolly Ranchers, and they don't sell those here. Do they sell them anywhere anymore? Or Jolly Ranchers just kind of dropped off the side of the planet and they're just not doing good anymore?
I can't answer that because I don't look for them anymore. But I would think that they're still around.
I like
They're so much
I
better
like the
now because
apple and the
they're rounded.
watermelon.
We could be really good friends if we lived near each other because we could just get assorted packs and I could give
That's
you all
right.
the green ones and you could give
Yep.
me all the cherries
Yep.
There you go.
and the peaches.
So you were talking about how Zenny has a really good video and everything, and why did she stop? And she says because of that video, because people had very strong opinions about glowfish and felt compelled to tell me about them. I'm like, well, and Zenny has a big heart, so I mean, I know she takes everything personal, but you gotta just ignore the asshats is what you gotta do.
It's hard to do though. Oh, so
Uh-huh.
you don't want to have an update on my fish room, huh? On their whip?
Not yet, no.
Okay. It
Where
says
did I?
four-
Where did I?
It's
Oh,
the one previous.
yeah,
Yeah.
right there. I'm just zipping through too fast.
We have
What
four
is the
walls. We have 4 walls, but we're not going to get the roof on. The rafters will not be ready until the 8th of April. So for 2 weeks, it's just going to sit there with nothing
Did
happening.
they have another commitment somewhere?
No, they have special order the rafters.
Oh,
You
you
should
would have
go
thought
take
they'd
a
done that
nap
by
in
now.
there. That would be awesome.
A nap? There's no. I mean, it's raining. You get wet. There's no roof.
You could put a hammock in there and you could just do that in your Speedos and nobody would even mind.
I would mind.
Nobody else would, though.
My wife
'Cause they
would
couldn't see
mind.
you. Well, she married into the situation.
That's right.
Danny V says he must have asked a question that I totally skipped by. Sorry, Danny. B Wizzle's dog's birthday, Walter. Let me try that again. B Wizz's dachshund Walter's birthday today.
That's awesome. Happy birthday, Walter.
Walter, another Walter dog. Don't get me started on nurse practitioners. Oh yeah, Johnny had a bad experience with that too. He got some crap in his eye, and the practitioner went in there, tried to get it all, thought she did, gave him an eye patch and everything, and sent him on his way. A week later, he goes back to the doctor, and he pulls out another big old chunk of stuff. So for a week, he had to deal with that. My doctor told me, doctor, whenever I had diabetes, it's called the sunrise effect. Yeah, that's what I read. I was just trying to get her to explain that to me and how I can avoid it.
Okay. Drink milk before you go to bed.
Is that the
Well,
because
our
won't that
niece,
shoot it up?
no, it'll actually help. I don't know what it'll do then. I'm trying to
Almond milk?
remember.
Is
Just-
it all? You could do almond milk.
No, just
It's
regular
low in
milk.
sugar.
I don't know. I'm not sure why we used to do that for our niece. Yeah, don't disregard that. I'm a doctor,
Okay.
but not a medical doctor. So
And Lefty's here. Hey, Lefty.
Lefty,
Oh my God, he's my friend. I
how's
miss hanging
teaching,
out with
Lefty?
Lefty.
You still teaching? What's going on in your life? Since you don't live stream anymore, we don't get to hear the Pikachu talk.
I miss hanging
Mary,
out
I
with
think that
Lefty,
is
man.
I don't believe that is accurate. And not just because I don't want it to be true, but I've read that like vodka doesn't have any sugar in it at all, and it doesn't have any carbs. So I don't know how it would affect my blood sugar. And actually, it drives it down. If I drink straight whiskey, it'll drive it down. I don't know if that's a temporary thing or not, but it definitely doesn't go up. Now, if I mix it with Coke or something, yeah, but that's the Coke, not the alcohol. So I just don't do mixers anymore.
He just drinks it straight. And you can see that if you go to Ohio Fish Rescue.
Yeah. Did you go yet? You didn't look at that, did you?
I have not looked at that
Okay,
yet.
don't do it. Don't do it.
No, because I had one of those nights the other night on your screen. So
Probably Fry. They might go after Fry. If the
no,
Fry
I'm
are dumb
not.
enough
I don't
to,
think so. I don't
no,
think so.
even Fry.
Fry hang out at the top, and discus are bottom eaters.
Oh, really? They don't eat. They don't. I thought they were just all over the tank, like a guppy, where they just were.
Well, for the most part, they'll come to the surface to eat, but they like to blow on leaves and things at the bottom to find little invertebrates.
Yeah, Stephen
Have you ever fed
was basically
fiber
saying the
bites
same
to
thing.
your discus?
I feed tetrabits, tetra. They used to be called tetrabits. I'm not sure what they call them now.
I wish they would have had fiber bites back when I had discus in the 90s.
Fiber bites. Is that the Hakari?
Yeah, it
The
looks
little
like
worm guys?
bloodworms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what actually gave my arowana the bent carrot disease. And if it's not something to do with crashing into the side of the tank.
Now, which way is it kurtosis or lordosis? I mean, one curves like this, the other curves.
It's if you were looking at him, if he's swimming at you, he's bent this way, not this way.
Okay.
So I switched him over to North Fin because it's a better quality food. But I think the damage is done.
Lumpy just said something would bite.
Yeah, he said I would suspect that the guppies would be a bit too busy for the discus to be happy.
Oh,
More so
you
than
gonna
a
answer
rummy
that?
nose? I don't know that they'd be any more busy than a rummy nose.
They're kind of like everywhere though, in a big pile when they're eating. And rummy nose are they're kind of like jets. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
How was that, Ed?
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought. Zenny says my discus were not slow, just saying, but I kept diamond tetras and rams with mine. Would the discus even bother with the guppy fry? Another question. I don't know how to answer that because I've never kept them. Doctor's the only one that kept them. Right? You've never kept discus, have you, Ed?
Yeah, I've had discus for about a decade. I used to make my own discus food.
Oh, well, look at you. I learned something new.
I had a grinder and everything. Like I ground up the beef heart with a couple of great big shrimps and a thing of tilapia. And I'd grind it all into little frozen blocks.
And they like it?
Yeah. But I still had a huge mess afterwards. So I ended up buying those
Right,
spotted
Nancy?
Raphaels to finish eating it because it was just really messy. And the Raphaels got real fat. And the Raphaels got to a point where they were taking the whole chunks away. Like they would swim out, grab a chunk of beef heart, and it was like, that's for the discus, you jerks. But they cleaned everything.
My little spotted ones are little porkers for sure. The striped is much bigger, but he didn't balloon out like the spotted ones did. I mean, they're damn near puffer like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I lived here in Tennessee. Well, I guess there's one butcher shop that could probably get me a cow heart. But back in St. Louis, there was a lot of
Right on,
butcher
Lumpy.
shops.
You're right about that.
And like you could also have them like smoke you a pig for like special events and stuff. I don't think people do that here. It's really weird. So
Well,
good.
it's so much more expensive now. My old man back in the day, he would go in with a friend and they'd buy a cow. You know, not the live cow, obviously, but
Yeah.
they'd
We
separate
buy
it
a half
out.
a cow every year.
Yeah, maybe that's what they were doing. I don't remember, but it was a ton of meat. I mean, they bought a freezer just for it, you know, and you know that's what we would eat for the duration of the year. And I don't think you can even afford to do that anymore because everything's so damn expensive.
Well, we get ours from our friend who has his own cows and gives us a great deal. But no, you like if you had any type of special event back in St. Louis, like a graduation or a big anniversary party or maybe a 50th birthday party, you could buy a pig and it was probably like 4 or 5 foot long and they would smoke it. And oh my God, you just carved it up right there. It was so good. Oh my God. And like they would put pineapples over their eyes because they don't want you to see the empty eyes on the thing. It'd be kind of gross. So there was like the rule, don't take the pineapple off the eyes.
So
But yeah,
to answer
oh
your
my gosh,
question,
so good.
Lefty says, long story short, yes, I'm still teaching, looking for new school at this one went to shit. Can not
Oh
wait for
no.
the last day.
Oh
Well,
no.
they just
That's a
kept
bummer.
sticking them with more and more crap to do.
Yeah.
I really don't think that's true, Babs. I could be wrong, but it's so far it hasn't hurt me, other than what it does to everybody. It hasn't hurt my diabetic condition anyway.
When I drink alcohol, I drink it with a lot of sweet because I like pina coladas or Mai Tais. I like the juicy, flavorful ones. And I don't care if you don't say it's manly or not. It's what I like.
What do you like? I was
I
reading.
like
He likes the
pina
girly drinks,
coladas
as they
and
call them.
yeah, Mai Tais, pina coladas,
Oh, I like those too.
daiquiris.
I mean, if I could still drink them, I definitely was. I've had plenty of them.
So Jeremy's here. Show your Jeremy shirt there, Whip.
Oh
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Jeremy's here.
I thought that was a Star Wars shirt.
This
Oh,
this is
Look,
aquarium
it kind of
domain.
looks like the Death Star. When you get back like that, it looks like the Death Star. He needs to have one big circly fish right in the middle. You need to put a discus right there for the laser to shoot out of.
I don't know. I guess I'll have to look into
Sorry,
it because
Jeremy.
more and more people are saying that it is got sugar in it, even though if you look on the back of the label, it says nothing about sugar, like 0%.
Well, but when you break down alcohol, you break it down into sugars.
Oh,
You know what? That aquatic news, that might be it. That we had lots of wild hogs in Missouri. They broke loose like every time the Mississippi would overflow, and so it was like you could shoot wild hogs for free.
hey,
And
Daniel,
it's the same way in Texas. And you know what?
Tommy.
I haven't ever heard of any wild hogs in Tennessee, at least where I live. I'm sure they're probably on the Memphis side, but in the mountains here, I bet that's what it is.
Yeah, Lefty just kind of confirmed, although he doesn't have a buddy like you do, but they could barely afford it and they split it between 4 families.
Yeah, we have a great deal with our steak.
Okay, I'm going to kind of, you guys, if you can see chat, just if you see something that I miss, speak up because I only have about 9 minutes left of the show and I want to try to get to the bottom. See you later, Asia.
Bye-bye. I think
Vodka cranberry. I love vodka cranberry.
what was I talking about?
Pigs
I
in
forgot what I was talking about.
pigs in the mountain.
Pigs in the mountain.
Not pigs in the blanket, but pigs in the mountain.
How they weren't not by you, but they're over on the other side of the state.
In
Yeah,
Memphis.
I think I was done talking about that. But they were delicious. Man, were they good.
Oh, then I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
'Cause that was.
I think my
laptop
dad,
again. Yeah, there it is.
I think we get our beef for $3 a pound
That's not
from his
bad.
buddy. Yeah,
That's not
and
bad.
then we have to pay the butcher fees. But he's
So-
like part of my mom and dad's Sunday school class.
Babs, where are you
Everybody
from?
in their class.
I thought you were out.
Deal.
I thought you were an out west girl. No, I guess not, because she's got wild hogs.
Well, but there's wild hogs in California.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I thought that was more of a southern issue.
Oh.
Wild hogs are just a bad
have not.
situation.
You know what? While I'm thinking about it, Shady, we miss you. I'm going to text you right.
Oh
this
my
very
gosh.
minute.
Yeah. I sent Shady a text, or not a text. I don't have his phone number, but I sent him a email on Facebook, and it said his Facebook was down. And so I was thinking about I have his address, so I was going to send him a card, tell him I'm missing him, and everybody else is.
I just sent him another one. Hey, running water. From
Hi, Uncle
20
Smiley.
minutes ago. Oh no, that was just a minute ago.
I accidentally
I'm all
called
caught
Uncle
up.
Smiley by his real life name, and I felt bad.
Yeah, we haven't seen Shady Mike since the middle of last month. I don't even know if it was that recent. I'd have to look. I feel like I haven't seen him in forever. But maybe it just seems like that because he was in every stream and now he isn't in any of them.
Let's hope he's like on a world tour vacation.
Like-
Maybe he's in the Congo right now catching fish.
March 2nd was the first time I texted him saying, hey, you've been strangely quiet over there. And so, yeah, I guess middle of last month would work. Just felt like it. It was a long time ago.
So Barbara Jackson's in the South Bay area in California.
Okay, so there you go. Apparently there are pigs out there. The doctor wasn't just trying to BS us, Ed. The damn
You know,
pigs
I
are
believed in
everywhere.
him.
I was only born
Wild
and raised
pigs
in
are-
California, so
Yeah, but you tend to spin a tale
But-
just to entertain the crowd.
It's probably where there's where you have pig farms, you will end up having wild pigs because they're good
Yep.
at getting away.
yep,
And we
that's
probably
what it
just
is.
don't have a lot of pigs in the mountains. We don't have a lot of cows out here either, really. We don't have a lot of horses. Not like how it was in Missouri, where I drove by a bajillion cows and horses just to get to work every day.
When oh man, you know you're getting old when a question that you're gonna ask
Now in Iowa, like
goes right out of your
My-
head as you're saying it.
my uncle's
I tried looking
father-in-law,
up shady on the compersive
CompuServe.
looking for it and I couldn't find it. Oh, okay. Probably the one that we use, fishfan.link.
so after this, what are you guys going to go do?
I have to move a bunch of Ultimangos into a 125.
Ooh, wow, that's cool. I'm thinking about going and getting some nachos.
How was the movie last night, Ed? You got 4 minutes.
I
Go.
didn't, you know what? I didn't do anything yesterday. I woke up with a migraine yesterday, and I pretty much just laid in bed all day long
Just coffee.
with my thing over my eyes. I had a miserable day yesterday. So I'm going to go see the movie Sunday night at 9:30.
What movie?
It's called The Working Man by Jason Statham. He beats up
Just-
bad guys with a hammer
Okay.
and a shovel because he's a working man.
He's a working man.
Oh, you're down at the last of the chat.
Yep. Say
I
something
really like Jason
interesting,
Statham.
people. I'm out of things to talk about.
Then, when is the last time you had some good old pork? She's probably a vegetarian, isn't she?
I don't think.
One time I thought she was a vegetarian.
Jenny, you're not a vegetarian, right? How would someone quarantine or otherwise make sure plants are safe for fish? I have never. Does bacon count? I don't know that anybody quarantines plants.
Well, you
Do
can
they?
dip them. There's used to be a plant dip. You can a very dilute chlorine mix, hydrogen sulfide, potassium permanganate. So there's a lot of recipes to dip plants.
And Mary,
Oh,
I
God
love
dang,
the
I'm locked up again.
Beekeeper,
There
and
it
I hope
goes.
it is. I think there's actually, I don't know if this is the sequel to the Beekeeper or the Beekeeper sequel is supposed to be later in the summer, but I think he's supposed to do a sequel this year to the Beekeeper.
Nancy says, "Do they even have vegetables in Texas?"
No, vegetarians. Vegetarians.
Oh, that's not as funny, but it's still funny.
Well, but you got to realize she lives in Houston, and that's where the prissy people live.
Oh.
Those are, the nouveau
They're,
Texans.
that's where the cowboys like to wear the tight pants,
Yep.
Well, all right.
and they
So,
eat
I find it odd
onions
that you
and-
know that, Ed.
cabbage.
so running water, just Google it. I mean, there's lots of recipes on Google for plant dips.
Yeah, I don't know them myself. I can't.
What
give
you
any insight on it.
really worry about
Mhm.
plants more than anything is bringing in snails.
Yeah, that, I was about
Snails
to
and
say that,
maybe
but you
some
said it first.
Hydra, planarians.
He's wrong. Oh wait,
He's not wrong.
he's not wrong. Oh, see, look, she said I wasn't wrong. She is a veterinarian or
A
vegetarian.
vegetarian.
No, that there's Houston's full of prissy people.
Oh,
Whip, yes, tomatoes sized of watermelon.
last
Oh, yeah,
time I drove
because
through.
It's Texas.
Last time I drove through Houston, I felt so sorry for the Houston Texan base or football team because every single sports store had Cowboys stuff next to the Houston stuff. And it's like, man, that's got to be just a bummer when you're not the number one team in your own city.
Yeah, right.
I
Oh,
lived in
cowboy stuff
Texas
is
for
everywhere.
10 long years. 10 years I would like to forget.
You lived in Houston?
No, in Texas,
Oh, yeah, where in Texas?
outside of Amarillo.
Oh, okay. My nephew lives outside of San Antonio.
Well, that's on
He
the
has a
opposite end of the state.
he
Yeah,
has
it only takes about 14 hours
Longhorns.
to get from one end to the other.
Yep.
he has a Longhorn ranch.
The
Ah,
fourth most populous city in America. We're a melting pot of cultures, including yippies. So we're definitely softer here.
And that's why they don't mind that she only eats vegetables.
She said vegetables. Ew. Because the Cowgirls are America's team. Lame. All right, we have officially hit 2 minutes and 2 hours and 1 minute. So we can say our goodbyes. You got anything going on, Ed, other than the beekeeper? No, the working man. What else you got
Nope.
going on?
I have nothing.
Potentially some D&D on Tuesday. A show at 8:30 Central Time.
Yep.
And that's about it, right? Am I forgetting anything?
Yep.
Doctor,
Nope, I'm
anything?
just chilling.
What you got going on?
got nothing, honey.
Got
We're
nothing?
chilling like villain.
Nothing, honey?
Like
Yep.
a villain.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all later, and you have yourselves a fantastic rest of the weekend. See you next Saturday.
Hasta la vista.
Bye.